Hi everyone, CG here, and we are back for another Fluent 2.0 tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to try to reproduce this object. This is not like a functional object. This doesn't serve any purpose. It's just for me to show you how to process with a curved cutting in the curved surfaces like this, and how to make it work. All right, so we're going to start with the creation. We go here, and then we right click to show the grid. We're going to start with the circle shape, and we're going to rotate here the grid on this axis by 90 degrees, like that. And we're going to start from the center. So draw something like that, and don't make it like too wide. And we can just right click to validate the first shape. So we have multiple circular shape in this object. First, we have the inner part, and then we have the outer part. So I'm gonna just Shift D to duplicate this object, and then right click to put it at the same place. And now we're gonna Fluent Edit, and we're going to change the radius to make it a little bit bigger, something like that, probably a little bit more, like this. And then we're going to change here how wide it is. So we can just go back to the solidify, or you can just press S and then make it smaller. Could be something like this. Great. Now we can just right click, and we can select this one and add a bevel here. This is the main part. And this main part, we're gonna actually go to Fluent Edit here, and we're gonna add a second bevel. And this will actually add a bevel on the side, so like this. I'm gonna actually make it a little bit bigger and change the solidify here to like that. Should be good. We can right click, and we now need to cut this circle part. So I want to have like a very tiny space between them. So first of all, I'm gonna cut circular. So press C from the center and make it just a little bit bigger than the other circle part. And then you can just press V to go through the object, and we can just click on the pencil icon, go to the side view with number 3 on the numpad, and we can use the shape tool. So here we don't want the full circle, we just want the front. So I'm gonna cut it from here and click something like that. And then we want to remove all these parts, so the white parts. When we are done, we shift click and then we press V. And as you can see, as a result, we cut the rear part. You might have some issues like this, and this is because the cut that we made is aligned with an edge. We can just press G and Y to move it. Now we don't have the issues on the top, and make sure to check also in the bottom. Good. So we can just right click, and we have the outer part. I also want to have this middle part here sliced. So I'm going to select this, press F, cut, and then right click on one of the face. And then I'm gonna just click here in the middle and press Shift to draw from the center and make sure it is long enough to cut the entire circle. So you can just press V and change here to slice. Good. You know that if this is too wide here or too narrow, you can go to edit mode with tab. I'm using a machine tool, so I have this edit mode, but if you just press tab, it will go to edit mode, the basic Blender edit mode, and then you can just scale it on X and then change how wide it is. So probably like this. And then we just go back to object mode, and then we do a right click to validate the slice. Great. I want to actually have this edge a little bit wider on the bevel side, but as you can see, if I click this and then I change the bevel, it will also change the bottom bevel and the side bevel, and I don't want that. So to reproduce this, you can use the second bevel. So if you go back to the Fluent editor here, and you go in the second bevel, you will be able to change this and make it something like that. Don't make it here too deep because I want also to slice this somewhere. So probably it's should it too big like that. So keep a space here and we will cut it actually. So now that we have this good effect, we can directly click on this icon and we will be able to cut directly into this. So if we go to the side view and we go to the circle again, once we right click, we are able to draw from the center and make some cut like that. And then you press V to cut and change to slice here. And as a result, we have like a small part in the bottom and then the round part on the top. So that's the result. Also make sure that it doesn't intersect the second bevel of the top part. So you can always change the radius to make it a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, like this. Okay. Now we can right click and we have those two layers. I want to add a cut on this rounded surface. So to make that F slice, it's actually going to be a slice, and we're going to go to the front view and shape tool, or you can just press S and it will go to the shape tool directly. So I'm going to click here, press Ctrl to snap the angle. So it's draw a straight line, and then go keep Ctrl pressed. So it goes up like this, and we keep Ctrl the entire time until it's red. So we have a 45 angle, and then 45-degree angle. And then we keep drawing like this. We can keep it like that. And as usual, you don't need to make it perfectly symmetrical because you can just shift click like that, press V, and then you can just press M and click here, and it will automatically mirror the object, and we don't need to draw exactly the same shape on both sides. So that's pretty cool. You may have some issues here or in the corner over there or over there. If you do, you can just press G and Z, and then you can just move it along the axis. But for me, it's working pretty well. So now we're going to add a slice in the bottom. So we can click on the pencil again and then go back to the front view, press S for shape tool, and I want to make like a V shape. So probably something like that. And as usual, you don't need to draw exactly the same angle. We make it like that. This, press V, actually change it to slice, and then press M, mirror it, validate the mirror, and as you can see here, I have issues, so I'm going to just press GZ and move it until I don't see any artifacts. I think this is looking good. You might see here, I don't see if you can see with the YouTube compression, but we have like a small artifact here, but we will fix it at the end of the model. The thing is, when you cut into circular shapes like this, you have artifacts, and you may see it here too. And we will repair those at the end. So you can just right click for now and go for the side view. Okay, so for the side, we're gonna do a slice. So slice, go to the side, right click, press C, and we're gonna cut a circle like that. Press V, and again, you can just change the radius until you don't have any issues. So this might be good. Validate the radius and then just right click to validate the slice. Okay, so we have another slice in the middle over here with the circle again, something like this, and then we can press V, right click, and select middle part, and we're gonna this time make a circle, but this time this will not be a slice, this will be like a small cut. So like this, and then we don't go too deep, we go like this, press M, mirror it to the other side, and right click. Great. So we have like a nice shape, but I do want to add like shapes in the corners over there, here, and in the bottom. And I want it to be, so this part is actually expanding into this. So how to do that? This is a very special technique. This is cut the cutter technique. So cut the cutter is actually a term that we use in the Fluent community to describe this. So if you press a greater than, lower than, or if you just press F and then click on this icon, this would show the Boolean object. So all the cutters that we use to make this scene. And we're gonna actually select this one. And once this is selected, you can just press F and use the cut tool. And now we're gonna cut this cutter. So basically what we will do, I'm gonna draw a shape. So I'm gonna go to the side view, and then I'm gonna use the shape tool. And this is a shape that I will draw in the middle and then move it later in the corners. So I can press Control if I want 45-degree angle, and as usual, we don't care, we're gonna mirror it, so don't need to make it work like that. Good, and then use the union. So to make a union, you can press U, and this will make it union. And now we can press M and mirror it like that. Good, so we have the shape, and now we need to move it in the corners. But if you do this and then you press G, because this is a mirror, this gonna actually not work very well. So we're gonna just right click to validate shape and then select this cutter, and here we're gonna apply the mirror over there. So now when we move this, this is actually one piece. So if we go to the side and then move it in the corner like we did and rotate it, we can actually we might want to scale it because it's way too big. So we go to edit mode and press S to scale it like so. Again, go back to object mode, go to the side, and then you make it like this. So you need to play with it, to rotate and move it a bit so it actually aligns like this in the corners. And here we have like a weird effect, and this is because the angle that this actually attack this face is actually not good. So we need to make these lines here like almost perpendicular to the surface here. So to do that, we can just press R and then XX to rotate on this axis and then move it a bit like that. Then you can press GYY to move it, and then try to find a place where you don't have too many artifacts, and then you can just GG and X to move it. Don't worry for those artifacts, we're gonna fix them later, and this will be good. So now you can just press F, edit, and then mirror, and now you can mirror it to all the sides like that. This is not reproduced on this side, but we're gonna add another mirror manually here later on. So you can now right click. So you need to actually select this boolean and not this one. Make sure that this one is selected, and now you can add a mirror like so. Just select this object and press Z over there, and this will reproduce it on the other side. So now I'm going to just reduce a little bit the bevel over there. So press F, then reduce it. Select this piece again, reduce the bevel. We still have artifacts here. We're going to fix them at the end because the technique to fix them is actually going destructive with the model, meaning that we will not be able to use the Fluent functionalities to change the properties of those anymore. So I'm gonna do it at the end. We can actually add some cutters around here. For example, this one I don't really like. This is actually too wide, so I'm gonna go back to the Fluent and then change the radius a bit like so. Great. So now we can right click, select the middle part, F, cut tool, right click, and then we can draw, we can draw small rectangle, and then go to the circular array like this. Okay, and then change the count, so the numbers of elements. We're gonna make 4, and we're gonna mirror it to this side. The reason why it does this is because you need to press S and then hold, click, go to offset, and then move to the right. Good. Now we can go back to the array, circular array, and we can press C to rotate 2 times and make it like this. Good. So make sure you don't have artifacts. Should be good. And we can right click. All right, so let's say you're done with your object. You've made all the cuts that you want, and now you want to fix those issues. So you're gonna actually need to fix those two parts separately. And first of all, we're gonna start with this one. So if you press F and go and click here to the repair tool, it's gonna actually move to this object. And if you move your mouse to the right, you're gonna mention that those are actually merging the vertices together. And I usually don't use that, and just click here, and now it will select the object as a source. And now you are like in the mode where you can just select faces. So to fix those faces, you're gonna actually select the faces by holding shift and click, and then I recommend you to actually select faces around your problem. So it's always good to select more vertices, to select more faces than you need. So I usually select a little bit around the problem. Good, we have those selected, looks good. And now you want to press enter, and this will repair all the faces that you selected. So here, this is good. This is not good on this side, but you can always mirror the object after that. So now let's say you are done with this object for the face. You can just right click to validate the normal repair. And now this object is gonna actually be destructive, meaning that if I go to edit mode, you can now edit the object fully, like a normal basic Blender object. And if you can see here, we have like normal fixed. It says completed normal fixed. And if you want to go back to the Fluent object, you can always go, I think this is this one. You can always go here and you can show it. And now if we hide the normal fixed one, and now we are back with the Fluent object. And this is just, Fluent is just hiding this one and showing the new one that is repaired. So we can always go back. I'm gonna fix this one too. As you can see now, we have like perfect shading over here, and we don't have artifacts anymore. So that's really cool tool that you can use. Obviously, you need to use it on all the faces that are like rounded faces like that, because you have artifacts. So I'm not gonna show you right here, but you can just simply do this, select everything, and make sure all the faces that are circular and all the faces that have a cut in it, it will need this normal repair. And like you can see, it works pretty well. So yeah, that was it for today's video. If you haven't seen my process on how I texture complex scene in Blender, I truly recommend you to watch it. See you on the next one.